First, I'd like to say thank you for contacting me, and I'd love to talk more about Chengdu and Sichuan. In response to your first question about why is there investment coming this way, definitely the government is targeting Sichuan and Chengdu in particular because it's been neglected for such a long time. This is my opinion. And with a population of over 80 million people, it's the fourth largest province in the whole of China in terms of population. And if people are continually not getting the development that other areas are getting, it's going to probably create some instability, which is the thing that the government wants the least. Is the thing they would like to avoid most. So there has to be some directed funding specifically to Chengdu and the Sichuan area. So that means funding in order to attract businesses here, drive up employment, bring the housing prices up, make the area more desirable for investment and for talents, and just overall improve the economy in this area. In that way, it can be more stable as our entire country, and it's a good thing for this area. In contrast to the places that have typically got development going on along the coast, the special economic zones that have been going on since Deng Xiaoping started the opening up reforms, those places already doing pretty well, and it needs to come inland now. Before, the west and central China, southwest China especially, has been quite slow to catch up, primarily because of the incentives not being given and the investment not being directed here. So then in terms of what makes it attractive here now, well, there's an endless list of things that I could say, but a lot of it is the policies that are being given to companies, regardless of whether they're foreign companies or local Chinese companies. For example, if you're a foreign entrepreneur or a Chinese entrepreneur or a returnee entrepreneur, you can get a straight up funding of 100,000 to 1 million, depending on your business idea, and that's probably going to be looking at one, your individual educational background and work experience background, ideally in a Fortune 500 company, and having maybe got a Nobel Prize. That's the number one thing they want. And with a PhD or a master's degree in a specialized area, an area which is seeking talents in China and a business is to start that kind of business. Industry is the word I was looking for, to kickstart that industry, like a biopharmaceuticals, some engineering, creative industries like design, consumer electronic design is a big thing. Even they're designing the aircrafts here now, so local Chinese manufacturing of the C919 aircraft. So there's a lot of construction and engineering projects going on, which they're looking for people to come and attract them, and they give them a large amount of funding in order to do that. That's part of a policy incentive called the Golden Panda policies, aimed at talents and entrepreneurs. In terms of the large companies, they also get preferential policies. They can get like 1 to 3 years or more of a free office space. As for small and medium businesses, and for quite large ones as well, they both have these kind of options available. Then for those businesses who are hiring talents, they also get discounts on those talents if they manage to get them in successfully. So let's say they get someone who, like I said before, is a Fortune 500, very experienced in, let's say, what industry could I go for? Like a stem cell biology, and they're looking to work in a pharmaceutical industry. Then probably if they are so smart and have the qualifications, again, you can get a massive discount. Well, it looks like a discount, it's a subsidy, right, on the staff that you're employing into China. Again, it doesn't matter if you're a foreigner, a returnee Chinese, or a local guy or girl. So now it's really about the policies, the subsidies. There's the two policies we hear about all the time, which is the Golden Panda policy, specifically for Chengdu, and the 1,000 talents policy, which is a nationwide one. That's also like a heavily promoted and pushed as a reason and a extra like a incentive for companies to come here and invest. And then how is the city developing to attract talents? Also very interesting. I think I just hit on that a little bit in what I just said. But there's additional things like if there's someone coming and you just hired them, there's apartment blocks called the High-Tech Zone Talent Apartment or High-Tech Zone Talent Hotels, where people can stay for free for 1 week to a longer duration. They can pay a very low rent, which helps bring people in, and it's cheaper for the company to keep them here. There's also more and more improved services, insurance packages for foreigners. The hospitals here are getting better and better. The Huaxi International Hospital, largest hospital in the world, and one of the first hospitals in China to have westernized medicine, thanks to the 100 years ago people coming to preach about Christianity, I guess. I have to admit that it's not all amazing here. When I get interviewed by the newspaper saying, they really want me to say like how fantastic everything is in Chengdu, but there's only 17,000 foreigners living here in contrast to Shanghai, over 200,000. And it is quite hard to attract talent still, because a lot of people haven't heard of Chengdu if you're trying to get them to come from overseas. And it's not that famous, even if some people think it is. And living here is fantastic. The lifestyle's great. That's the one massive thing you can sell to people. You've got pandas, you've got hot pot, you've got a nice climate. Everything is so nice. Maybe the pollution sucks a bit as well, but this is China, so what are you gonna do? And it's really easy to sell in terms of the lifestyle. It's convenient, nice people, very pleasant place to live. But in terms of what makes it so different from other places, that's a hard one to say at the moment. Like, I know people, they're checking out Wuhan, they're checking out Shenzhen, they're looking at the different policies in different cities, and they're kind of noticing that there's some crossover between all of these places. They're offering similar incentives, and I can't 100% say like, oh, this is the best place to be at the moment. But for me personally, it is. It's fun. It's still developing rapidly. Even over the past 4 years I've been here, there's hundreds of new skyscrapers. It's quite exciting. So